Haunted Oman House, cults and crime. In the first place, a group of individuals, reportedly followers of a self-proclaimed religious leader named Charlie, got instructions to visit Sharon Tate's house with the diabolical intention of carrying out many killings. The directive instructed this wandering band to methodically target every property in the neighborhood. The narrator's unease and the peculiar surroundings they find themselves in serve as evidence of the atmosphere rife with nervousness and terrifying feelings surrounding the events. It is becoming increasingly clear that the gravity of the situation is increasing as individuals draw closer to the famed place. As a result of the historical significance of the location, as well as the anticipation of delving into the paranormal features of the location, the investigation that will take place this evening will entail an additional layer of complexity. This complexity arises from the historical significance of the location. The narrator's long-standing preoccupation with the subject matter drives him to underscore the continuous mystery surrounding the tragic events that took place on that fateful night in 1969. This attraction motivates the main character, even though it raises concerns. On the evening of the investigation that took place at Sharon Tate's former apartment, a number of individuals, including the narrator, Jim, Judith, and others, got together with the intention of examining the paranormal activity that was related to the infamous Manson murders. The investigation was going to take place at Sharon Tate's apartment. The crew resumed their exploration, despite the fact that Jim's camera appeared to be experiencing some technical difficulties at the beginning of the mission. David Oman, the owner of the home, shared his own experiences and observations in relation to the ongoing unexplained phenomena that have been taking place inside the house. He said that everything has been happening for no apparent reason. He recounted a range of unexplainable occurrences, like faucets activating on their own and doors locking themselves, along with accounts of ghost sightings and conversations, including a companion's description of the apparition of Sharon Tate. He also mentioned witnessing numerous unexplainable occurrences. In order to demonstrate that the house had the ability to challenge preconceived notions about the supernatural, Oman offered concrete examples of instances in which skeptics had experiences that changed their lives. Additionally, he discussed the elevated levels of electromagnetic fields that Dr. Barry Taft found during his visit. This was in addition to the previous point. According to his hypothesis, circumstances such as these make it easier for spirits to connect with one another and present themselves by facilitating their communication. The group conducted a further round of discourse and exploration, analyzing historical photos and sharing anecdotes about the property's history and current condition. The historical significance of the area infused the atmosphere with a mixture of curiosity, anxiety, and amazement throughout the remainder of the evening. The group kept an open mind to the possibility of confronting the remaining spirits of the past as they ventured farther into the riddles that surrounded the house. This allowed them to continue to investigate the property. At the same time, they were eager to acquire additional information regarding the mystery forces that were operating within the confines of Sharon Tate's previous apartment. A series of peculiar incidents occurred within the house during the group's research period. These incidents included the flickering of lights and the presence of nausea and discomfort, especially in specific parts of the house. All of these symptoms were present. Jasmine, one of the people who took part in the activity, even became physically ill and threw up throughout the entire process. David Oman pointed out locations that are known to have paranormal activity, such as the corridor, where people have reported feeling pushed down, and the restroom, where the door shuts on its own. Both of these locations are examples of places David Oman mentioned. In the course of their exploration, the group went through a number of different rooms and hallways, and David Oman was the one who discovered these noteworthy spots. During the course of their inquiry, the group witnessed a number of other peculiar occurrences, including lights that flickered and even a sudden blackout whenever they requested any spirits that were present to turn down the lights. There were attempts made to explain the occurrences as electrical difficulties. However, the intensity of the phenomena and the timing of the occurrences seemed to imply that this was not the case. We continue to investigate the occurrences despite these attempts. In addition, the research led them to a room that was situated beneath the house that they were investigating. The Native Americans are believed to have used this space as an altar spot at some point in their history. Despite the fact that the location in question was not a Native American burial ground, David claimed that a person had died there under mysterious circumstances. Generally, the night's research was filled with eerie encounters and unexplainable events. leaving the group with more questions than answers about the mysterious forces operating in Sharon Tate's former apartment. David Oman explained that a man and his horse had perished in the basement area after falling down the mountainside, their remains buried beneath the ground. Their inquiry led to the provision of this explanation. The party discovered a variety of items left behind after their abandonment: tobacco, money, cedar, sage, crow feathers, and a bag of other products that were unfamiliar to them were among the items that were available to them. Furthermore, Oman asserted that they used the basement as a man cave, furnishing it with a television and a hammock. When he was talking about the basement, he made a humorous analogy between it and a frightening version of Pee-wee's Playhouse. Not only did the group notice a change in temperature as they descended into the basement, but they also encountered other strange occurrences, such as the screen of Jim's camera being blank, which was the same as an incident that had occurred before. The fact that a children's piano started playing on its own was another element that contributed to the eerie atmosphere that was present. Despite the use of electromagnetic field, EMF, detectors, and other devices to interact with potential ghosts, the basement initially emanated a sense of tranquility. On the other hand, Jasmine and Victor, who were still on the higher floor, reported that they heard footsteps and saw a door open. However, they couldn't confirm if a video captured the incident. Jasmine and Victor were still on the upper floor. Ultimately, the group found themselves in the basement, a location characterized by heightened electromagnetic field (EMF) activity. In response to questions, devices started registering oscillations and responding with terms like logic and object. One of the ways in which they attempted to connect with one another was by inquiring about the veracity of a narrative that included a guy being hauled to the ceiling. On the other hand, the reactions were not at all obvious, which resulted in the group being inquisitive but unsure about the true nature of the event that they were experiencing. As the investigation progressed, the electromagnetic field (EMF) detectors started to spike and generate alerts, which showed that the group's interactions were more intense as the study advanced. The occurrences that took place during the night left them with more questions than answers, which further entrenched Sharon Tate's prior residence in a more profound feeling of mystery. Despite their efforts to communicate and understand the origins of the activity, they found themselves left with more questions than answers. Throughout the course of the investigation that was being conducted at David Oman's residence, a variety of different interactions and occurrences were registered and recorded. As the company traveled around the various areas of the home, including the basement and the rooms on the upper floor, they experienced a wide range of strange occurrences. Lights flickering, doors opening by themselves, noises that could not be explained, and electromagnetic field activity were some of the happenings that took place. They made an effort to speak with one another in the basement by employing a number of different instruments, such as electromagnetic field, EMF, detectors, and a spirit box. They acquired responses that suggested the existence of a spirit named Jack, as well as the possibility of Winifred Chapman, a maid who had worked in the past. The investigations confirmed both of these possibilities. Additionally, the group reported feeling tremors and disorientation, in addition to hearing tapping noises. Additionally, they reported hearing those sounds. As they moved throughout the house, it seemed as though the action was following them wherever they went. Lights would turn on and off without any help, and electromagnetic field detectors would respond to their questions. At one point, Jim felt a tap on his shoulder, and the group heard loud bangs and footsteps, even when they were alone in specific zones. This occurred even though they were in certain areas. Even when they were in particular locations, this continued to take place. Irrespective of the intense experiences they encountered, the crew remained steadfast in their quest for deeper investigation, capturing evidence through the utilization of audio and video recording devices. Despite this, in the end, they arrived at the opinion that the investigation needed to be ended because of the significant positive effects it had on their health. The group was not only curious about the findings of the investigation, but they were also relieved to leave the oppressive environment of David Oman's house behind. The research provided a combination of convincing evidence and personal experiences. Do you think you'd enjoy it? Click the like button and subscribe to our channels for more videos.